Welcome back then guys to this live stream. It's now time for the sprint race for IFMC GP2. Excuse me. And we're scheduled for 23 laps of action here at Donington. If you didn't see what happened in the feature race yesterday, it was quite an interesting race, but in the end Pierre Gasly, for the first time since Season 2, went on to win the race. His first win in an Ecademy car, with George Russell in second place, and it was Eriksson who rounded out the podium in the Macamo car. It was quite an interesting race, not one of the best races, but still an interesting race nonetheless. And there was some incidents to talk about, mainly Sean Ghiotto, who has received a qualifying ban for Belgium for what he caused at the Melbourne hairpin on the first lap. So that's that really. And so expect him to be at the back for Belgium when GP2 comes back in 3 weeks' time. But for now, we need to get on with the present, and of course the top 8 gets reversed, and it sees the 2 EMRs onto the front row, with Ghiotto on pole for the second sprint race in a row, and Sirotkin in second place. So looking to be quite an interesting race. So before we start then guys, let's mute this, turn this up a little, and let's have a look at the grid for the sprint race here at Donington. Here we go then. So on pole position, it's Luca Ghiotto with Sergey Sirotkin in second. Joel Eriksson lines up in third with Lando Norris in fourth. Felix Rosenqvist starts in fifth with Eriksson in sixth position. George Russell starts seventh. Alongside him is yesterday's winner Pierre Gasly in eighth. Luca Schumacher starts ninth in the VorteX racing car. He's joined by teammate Mitch who starts in 10th. Norman Nato is in 11th. Mick Schumacher in the Ecademy car is in 12th. 13th place is Sasha Fenestraz. 14th is Louis Razier in the Willows Grand Prix car. Santiago Urisha starts in 15th position. Alongside him is Yuri Vips in 16th. 17th is Jolyon Palmer. 18th is Sean Ghiotto in the Holy Trinity racing car. In 19th is Lance Stroll. 20th, Nick de Vries. Both of them retired yesterday, that's why they're on row 10. And on the back row of the grid, it's Dan Ticktum and Nobuharu Matsushita. And that is the grid for the sprint race here at Donington. So there is the grid then guys for the sprint race, and the weather of course being bright and sunny. So leave your predictions, but without further ado, let's get to the sprint race. So here we are then on the grid then. It's Ghiotto on the left of your screen, Sirotkin on the right. Who's going to get the lead into turn 1 as we wait for the 5 red lights to go off to signify the start of the the sprint race and 23 laps of action here at Donington. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights are on. And it is going for the sprint race here at Donington. The front 2 seats get away. Sirotkin has a better start compared to Ghiotto as he heads down towards turn 1. Eriksson meantime trying to look to either of them. Going down towards turn 1. Will Eriksson try and grab the lead from the 2 EMR cars? I don't think he quite got it there because Ghiotto and Eriksson are still side by side. Everybody's got through the first corner safely. Eriksson and Ghiotto side by side down through the craners. And Eriksson just has the edge on Ghiotto. Eriksson takes the lead. Sirotkin down to 3rd. Norris still in 4th place at the moment. As it's been a good start from Russell, who's got up into 6th place. Everybody, as mentioned, has got through the first few corners safely, but it is Eriksson with a bit of a gap in the lead. But Sirotkin now looking to the inside of Ghiotto up towards McLean's, but Ghiotto shutting the door onto the first part of McLean's, and now Norris finds himself all over the backside of Sergey Sirotkin as they go through the second part of McLean's for the first time today before going up towards Coppice Corner now then, where we've seen quite a bit of carnage yesterday. Hopefully these lot can keep it clean like GP3 have so far this weekend, as now going out of Coppice now then. Rosenqvist all over the backside of Lando Norris as he tries to grab second from him in the Drivers' Championship. Rosenqvist looks to the outside of Lando Norris because Norris looks to have covered the inside into the corner, and rightfully so. Meantime, Ghiotto defended the inside from Sergey Sirotkin. Nothing going much here, no change in the position down there into that corner as there's been a contact between Lynn and Russell. Luckily, neither of them got punted off at that point there, so just a little bit of a misjudge of braking there from Alex Lynn. And as you can see, lots of movement going on, but surprisingly, unlike yesterday, everybody's got through the chicane cleanly as they go through the right hand. And now the Ghiotto now starting to close up again onto Eriksson for the lead of the race. Ghiotto wanting the lead back if he can into the Melbourne hairpin. Is everybody going to keep it clean? There's 3 wide into this corner now. Then Palmer again down the inside, nearly close to contact with Ticktum, but gets up to 19th. De Vries now bringing up the rear. So at the end of lap 1 then, here of 23, it's Eriksson who leads the race from Ghiotto in 2nd. It's Sirotkin 3rd, Norris 4th, Rosenqvist 5th, and Russell running out the top 6 as the top 2 head down towards turn 1. Ghiotto trying to close back in onto Joel Eriksson in front as Eriksson sets an early fastest lap, but that'll obviously get beaten because it's obviously the start of the race. The top 2 now then come down towards the crane of curves now then for the second time today. Ghiotto trying to keep up with the race leader as he tries to challenge the lead of this race now then. Sirotkin pulling a bit of a gap between himself and Lando Norris as he's busy fending off from Felix Rosenqvist, who's pulled a gap between himself and teammate George Russell, heading up towards McLaren's. Norris defending the inside into that corner, and as a result Rosenqvist unable to do so to make a pass through into that corner now then as they go up towards Koppis. Ghiotto looks like he's now starting to lose time to Joel Eriksson in front now then as they go up towards Koppis' corner, and as you can see Rosenqvist just all over the backside there, tucked in a little bit inside compared to Norris into Koppis, but will he try and get the move done into the Fogarty S's? Rosenqvist tucking up into Norris's slipstream. Is he going to try and get the move done into the Fogarty S's? He looks to the inside. Norris is giving him the space in towards the Fogarty S's. Down the inside goes Felix Rosenqvist. Nice meantime though, managing to hang it around the outside. That's some beautiful driving there from Lando Norris to keep on the 4th place, and now George Russell has been brought into the frame into that battle, and now Lynn fancying a piece of Rosenqvist. He's going to dive down the inside. Will Lynn get the move done on Rosenqvist into the Melbourne hairpin? Down the inside he goes. But no, not quite. Russell able to hang it around the outside and keep on the place. I think I accidentally said Rosenqvist. It was Russell. I do apologise for that. Rosenqvist is busy trying to battle with Lando Norris. Meantime, back to the top 2. Sirotkin trying to close up if he can onto that top 2. As we're now on lap 3 of 23. 21 laps remaining, including this one. And Eriksson in the lead at the moment. But Ghiotto keeping him honest at this stage of the race, as the gap is 0.7 seconds, so both of them under a second between each other. 1.6 is the gap between Ghiotto and Sirotkin. Sirotkin is now pretty much left Norris for dust, as he's now just pretty much finding himself a little bit lonely in 3rd place. Now he's trying to close up on the top 2 in front of him of Eriksson and teammate Ghiotto, as they now go up towards the McLaren's now then. As Ghiotto looks to try and take the Swede on if he can. Coming out of the second part of McLaren's, Ghiotto trying to get into the slipstream of the race leader if he can. He seems to be later on the brakes compared to the Swede there, as he's getting up close now to the backside of the race leader now. Then Ghiotto fancying his chances on race leader Joel Eriksson, as he now tries to get the lead back after losing it at the start through the Craners, as now up towards the Fogarty S as we go. Eriksson, I don't know if he just went a little bit defensive there, but Ghiotto trying to get the better exit out of that corner. Sirotkin trying to close up if he can. Meantime, looks like Rosenqvist has now lost touch to Norris, and even Russell's starting to lose time to his own teammate, and Lynn not even keeping up as well. Gasly looking for any opportunity to pounce upon, especially Nato, who's had a good start after only being on 11th on the grid there, as Razia gets through on Vips there into the chicane to get hold of 16th. At that corner. Meantime, the 2 GRRs are at the back of the pack. Looks like Palmer and the likes of Mashashita have mugged them, possibly either at the Melbourne hairpin or maybe even at the Fogarty S's, maybe even Koppis, who knows. But anyway, now we start lap 4 of the race here at Donington. Ghiotto now getting closer now to the backside of Eriksson. What's the gap now then between the top 2 as they head down towards turn 1, as now Norris sets the fastest lap of 1:20.368 from the Brits, and Norris now setting the fastest lap, and it's half a second between Ghiotto and Eriksson, so Ghiotto has taken 2 tenths out of Eriksson's lead there that time around. As I go through the Craner curves now then, Ghiotto looking to see if you can try and get what will be only his, I believe his 3rd or 2nd GP2 career victory, and his first in an East Midlands racing car, as now they go up towards the McLaren's now. Then as you see there, Eriksson going a bit defensive. You can feel the pressure now from the young Italian as they go through the right-hander. Ghiotto can sense an opportunity to pounce on Joel Eriksson as they come up towards Koppis' corner now. Then through the right-hander we will go now. And Ghiotto fancying his chances on Joel Eriksson to come out the second part of Koppis. He's now going to try and tuck up into his slipstream. Will this be enough for Luca Ghiotto to get the place of Joel Eriksson? He go down the back straight now then. Is he close enough to make a pass? Eriksson going a tad bit defensive there. And now Ghiotto's going to try and dive it down the inside into the Fogarty S's. Will it be enough for Ghiotto to take the lead? And that's a beautiful move from the Italian. Ghiotto leads the sprint race here at Donington Park, and now Sirotkin fancies his chances to try and make it an EMR 1-2 if he can. Sirotkin now right on the backside of Eriksson after he got a little bit backed up there by Luca Ghiotto, but Ghiotto now leads the sprint race now, then he retakes the lead after losing it at the start, and now Ghiotto trying to see if he can pull away a bit now from the Swede of Joel Eriksson as they come through towards the final corner, and now Sirotkin now right on the backside of him now then to try and take 2nd place from the Swede now then. As meantime now then, Russell now starting to close up onto the backside of teammate Rosenqvist at this stage. Norris getting away from Rosenqvist after setting the fastest lap previously. Has he set another fastest lap perhaps? No, he hasn't. It hasn't come up on screen. So far I think Norris is holding on to the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race, as he just comes out of turn 1 there then. As meantime, seems that their battles are just keeping it quiet at the moment, as now Ghiotto now starting to get away from second place man Joel Eriksson as they go through the old hairpin now, then using quite a bit of curve on the outside before going up the hill towards McLean's. And Sirotkin now then fancying his chances to try and grab second from the Swedish driver now then. Even in fact Norris is even starting to close up as well, so Norris is trying to feed himself into this battle as well as they go up towards Coppice corner now then. As he flicks the car in, will Sirotkin get the move done on Joel Eriksson as they come down the back straight now then towards the chicane. And is Sirotkin going to get close to Eriksson? He's not close enough to make a pass this time around, but can he try and possibly break a little bit later for him into the Fog TSs? And it looks like he's definitely break that a little bit later than what Eriksson has going into the corner. Sirotkin definitely the faster of the two at the moment, but is Norris possibly faster than both of them at the moment? That is the question. Now then, as they go up towards the Melbourne hairpin now then for the 5th time today, the second to last corner of course, as Ghiotto comes up towards the final corner on the track as he goes through in towards the left-hander now before coming down the pit straight, as he now starts lap 6 of 23 here at Donington. So we now have specifically I believe if I'm correct, 18 laps remaining in this sprint race. The gap between Sirotkin and Eriksson now then, it's getting close, half a second, so it was the same as what Ghiotto was behind when he made the pass on Eriksson just a couple of laps ago. And could Sirotkin now be in prime position to take the place of Joel Eriksson for second place as they go through the whole hairpin? Sirotkin now then fancying his chances on Joel Eriksson now as they come up towards the McLean's now then. And Sirotkin fancying his chances at possibly making it an EMR 1-2 if he can, with Ghiotto now starting to pull away out in front and trying to break away from the rest of the pack through towards Coppice now. And then we go Sirotkin. Can he try and grab second place from Joel Eriksson as they come down the back straight now then towards the chicane? Sirotkin now then in the slipstream of Joel Eriksson. Will he try and do the same thing as what Ghiotto did a couple of laps ago? Eriksson going a tad bit defensive. Is Sirotkin close enough to make a pass? And no, he's not. He's going to stay behind for the time being. Eriksson defending the place into the chicane as it looks like now Norris is starting to close up now onto this battle for P2 now then. As they go up towards the Melbourne hairpin, will Sirotkin possibly think of diving it down the inside here? No, he won't. Sirotkin will tuck back for now as he tries to keep up with Joel Eriksson and see where his weaknesses are. Up towards the final corner we will go on the track. And so through the final corner and onto the pit straight we go. And what is the gap now then between Eriksson and Sirotkin as they go down the pit straight towards the first corner on the track, as Ghiotto now sets the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 20.232. So now Ghiotto is holding on to the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race, as it's now 0.4 seconds. So Sirotkin took a 10th last time around compared to Eriksson now then. So 0.4 now the gap between Eriksson and Sirotkin, as Norris still quite a bit behind, but I think it's definitely clear he is starting to close up onto second place. But it doesn't look like that Sirotkin is close enough this time around, unless he can get a run up through McLean's and then try and keep it up before they go up in towards Coppice. As now they go through the left-hander now then. Sirotkin trying to see where Eriksson's weak points are, trying to get the better traction if he can as they go up towards Coppice corner now then for the, I believe it's the 7th time today, through towards the double right-hander we go. Will he try and get the run on Eriksson this time around now then as they go down the back straight? Sirotkin, will he try and get the place off Eriksson down up towards the Fogarty S's? I don't think again he's close enough to make a pass on the Swede, as Eriksson goes very defensive into the chicane there, and rightfully so, keeping hold of second place for the moment now then, as he's now got a bit of a gap between him, as now he tries to get away from Sirotkin if he can, but so far doesn't appear to be working at this stage. And at the moment, because Sirotkin is still keeping up with him at the moment as they come up towards the final corner. And so what's the gap now as they come out of the final corner, heading down the pit straight now then towards the first corner, and Ghiotto setting another fastest lap of 1 minute 20.176, heading towards turn 1 on the track. And let's see now then as well on lap 8 of 23 through turn 1 we go. 0.4 seconds still is the gap. Sirotkin unable to cut some more time on that at the moment. Sorry for the drop of frames that time around as I go through the craners. And now up towards the old hairpin we go. And Sirotkin a little bit closer than what he was previous lap, so maybe if he's able to get the run, he should be able to get a clear pass probably into the Fogarty S's if he's lucky to do so. As I go through McLean's now then. And so coming out of the corner up towards Coppice we will go. And Sirotkin now then really keeping up with him at this stage as they go through the right-hander now then on the track. And look at that, he's now right in the slipstream now then of Joel Eriksson. Will he get the move done on the Swede? Down the back straight we go towards the chicane now then. Will he get the move done? Down the inside he goes now then, and Eriksson again just fends him off there and pretty much pushes him back a bit more into the chicane. And now out the corner we go towards the Melbourne hairpin on the track. Again, sorry for the drop of frames. It's now up towards the Melbourne hairpin, and again not close enough that time. Rosenqvist starting to close back up onto Norris at the moment as they battle it out for P4 in this race, coming out of the second to last corner. And meantime, race leader Ghiotto finding it pretty easy out in front of the moment, and I wish it stopped dropping frames as they go down the pit straight. And again, another fastest lap being set, a 1:20.43 this time. Sorry, 1:43 I should say, for Luca Ghiotto, as he continues to pull away out in front of the moment in the EMR as they head down through the crane of curves. And Ghiotto doing a fine job out in front of this stage as he looks to try and get EMR's first victory of the season and his, I believe, third victory in GP2. I might be wrong on that, but I do believe it would be that as they go through McLean's. And now through the right-hander we will go. Stop dropping frames, please, OBS. As now going towards the double right-hander on the track of Coppice, of course. Coming around the right-hander now then on the track, heading down towards the Fogarty S's. And so now heading towards the chicane on the track. Meantime, this battle for second place still continuing. There's now Sirotkin getting the run on Joel Eriksson. Eriksson again defending the inside, and rightfully so, keeping hold of second place. Again, sorry for the drop of frames happening in the stream. I'm fearing for the worst again, to be honest with you. But now through towards the Melbourne hairpin as we go up towards the final corner on the track. Ghiotto still leading the way, and still his teammates struggling to find a way through on Joel Eriksson at this stage of the race as they go through the final corner. Heading down the pit train, out goes Pierre Gasly. Gasly's out of the race. What's happened to Pierre as they go? Where is Pierre Gasly on track? And oh, he's crashed. He's had a crash, but it looked like he had an oil leak before that. I don't know who collected him. Schumacher must have collected him. The two academies have hit each other, and I'll be interested to see what that looked like on the replay as they go, as Schumacher will be coming into the pits for a new front wing. And wow, disaster there in the Academy camp, that's for sure. And so there you go. And oh, a bit clumsy there from Mick Schumacher, it must be said, trying to find a way through on his teammate. I don't know if he was trying to defend someone, but that will have to be investigated for sure between the two Academy teammates, and I wouldn't be surprised if Oliver Glazebrook is going to be unhappy with that. And, well, that's that really. Is now Gasly is going to be hoisted over the barriers. He's out of the race, and we're down 221 runners as a result. As they come up towards turn 1 on the track, please stop dropping frames. Through towards turn 1 we go. And confirmation there that Gasly is out of the race as we go through in towards the crane of curves. And so down the hill we go then towards the old hairpin now then on the track as Schumacher in to repair that front wing. His race now effectively ruined as a result as they go through McLean's. Please stop dropping frames as now out of McLean's we will go towards the double right-hander at Coppice. And so coming out of the corner now, then heading towards the chicane. Ghiotto still leading. Meantime, is Sirotkin going to finally find a way through on Joel Eriksson as they come down the back straight towards the Fogarty S's now on the track. And again, it looks like Eriksson's now pulled a bit of a gap, it must be said, on Sirotkin. We're now on lap 10 of 23 here at Donington. 14 laps remaining in this sprint race. And we're 10 minutes away from the 2:30 mark now then in this race. As meantime now Rosenqvist is now all over the backside of Norris as he tries to grab P4 from him at the moment. Again, I apologise for the drop of frames if you just joined us. coming out of the Melbourne hairpin, and now up towards the final corner, and so through the final corner, and now down the pit straight we go, and Rosenqvist now then doing whatever he can to get hold of Norris and try and grab what will be P4 in this race as they go out of turn 1. And now through the craners we will go. And meantime, here is Luca Ghiotto still leading the race out in front at this stage. And at the moment doing a fine job out in front at the moment. And again, I apologise for the drop of frames. As now going up towards Coppice Corner we will go. And so now going up towards the chicane on the track. And so now going in towards the Fogarty S is now on the track. And Ghiotto now then currently leading the race at this stage as they go up towards the Melbourne hairpin now then on the track. And so coming around the corner, heading up towards the final corner, and still leading the way at this stage. And yep, Sirotkin just dropping back even further in this race, and their battle for second place looks to be put on hold at the moment. As meantime, Norris still keeping back the two Red Bull Academies, it must be said, because now Russell is getting involved in this fight at the moment as they come out of the final corner, heading down the pit straight now then, as they'll now head down towards turn 1 on the track. And so now out through turn 1, and let's quickly continue. So as you just saw there, you just saw briefly as we were on that pause screen there, Mick Schumacher has just set the fastest lap of the race, and I wouldn't be surprised about that, because let's just put it this way, I think that's down to mainly the fact that that's possibly because of the fact that obviously he had to pit for a new front wing and now finds himself down at the back of the pack. And of course he's under investigation for that collision with his teammate Pierre Gasly, and again I said I wouldn't be surprised if Oliver Glazebrook is very angry at him for that as a result. But meantime, we've got this battle for fourth to contend with now then, as we head down the pit straight now then towards turn 1. And so through and towards turn 1 now then we go. And so far we head down through the crane of curves, and Norris now then losing time to Sirotkin, and even Sirotkin is now starting to lose time to Joel Eriksson, as I mentioned a little earlier on before it disconnected. And well, it looks like a 1-2 for EMR looks to be out of the question, but a victory for EMR definitely not at the moment. We're on lap 13 of 23 here at Donington, 11 laps remaining. We're 5 minutes away now from the 2:30 mark. And at this rate, we should be finishing at around, I want to say around about 25 to 22, because in just over half an hour's time, 35 minutes to be exact, we will be having the European Grand Prix here at Donington, which sees the two Etihads on the front row and Nico Hulkenberg joining them behind. And but for EMR at the moment, they're currently praying that Luca Ghiotto can get this to be a victory if he can, as he comes up towards the final corner on the track, as things have now started to calm down a tad bit, it must be said, in the points paying positions, because it looks like Rosenqvist is starting to drop back from Norris, and Russell dropping back from Rosenqvist at the moment. Ghiotto now then on lap 14 of 23 here, 10 laps remaining for the young Italian in order for him to get EMR's first victory of the season. And took him a while, it seems, this time around to get that, but it looks like nothing is going to stop the Italian at the moment. But we've still got 10 laps, anything can happen in Grand Prix racing, and it usually does. As meantime, going out of the final corner, and as you can see, there's a bit of a battle at the back of the pack. There is Mick Schumacher now then in 21st position. Of course, he and his teammate under investigation for that collision, and you'll get a verdict on that at the end of the race, along with that GP3 incident between Heifeld and Vinio, so be aware of that. As Schumacher now then comes up towards the final corner, and onto the pit straight now then we will go. And Schumacher now then, he'll come up towards turn 1 to start his next lap. And not a fastest lap that time around, and judging from where Ghiotto is at the second to last corner, I don't think he'll lap him, but I think Ghiotto will get close to the point where he might lap Schumacher, but I think Schumacher would stay on the lead lap anyway. I don't think he'll be a lap down by the end of it, as Ghiotto now starts lap number 15 of 23 here at Donington, so 9 laps remaining for the Italian as he comes up towards turn 1 now then on the track. And just using a bit of curb now then on the left hand side, going down through the crane of curves towards the left hander, and it will require another edit then, this GP2 sprint race, just like I did with the GP3 last night, which came out in the early hours of this morning. It's now through towards McLean's we will go, and Ghiotto using quite a bit of curb on the outside there then before approaching the double right-hander at Coppice, and so far finding himself leading the race at this stage. As meantime now then, it does look like Rosenqvist may be starting to catch back up now to Lando Norris as they go through the double right-hander at Coppice, and now heading up towards the chicane at the Fogarty S's, as Rosenqvist now they're trying to keep up with Norris as best as possible as they go up towards the chicane now then. Flicking the car in through the left and then through the right hander we will go, and now we'll go up towards the second to last corner, and obviously Rosenqvist will try and break that a little bit later to just get up towards the backside of Lando Norris, coming out of the corner now and heading up towards the final corner, and Rosenqvist looking for any opportunity to pounce upon if he can as they go around the final corner now then. And so now down the pit straight they go now then towards turn 1, and so down towards turn 1 we go. The gap between them as they go through towards turn 1 is now, as we have now 8 laps remaining, is half a second between them. So half a second now between Norris and Rosenqvist. Through the craners now then the pair of them go, and then around the left, and now up towards the old hairpin we will go. And Rosenqvist possibly looking to pounce possibly down that back straight before we go into the Fogarty S's now then, through towards McLean's, and then through the right-hander, and up towards the double right-hander we will go, and Rosenqvist now then trying to see what he can do to get Norris, and again it just looks like Norris has got a little bit more coming out the corner compared to Felix at the moment. So that's that for him really, as here is Luca Ghiotto now then currently leading. I thought we were going to have a battle perhaps between Norris and Rosenqvist, but that so far doesn't look to be materialising. It just seems that Norris, especially through the third sector, just seems to react all the time. And meantime now, and here is Luca Ghiotto starting lap number 17, I believe this is now, of 23. So including this lap, we now have 7 laps remaining in this sprint race. Ghiotto doing a fine job out in front at the moment. And how far in front is the back marker of Mick Schumacher? Well, he's out of the second part of Coppice, so not really much there to discuss. As Schumacher now then up towards the Fogarty S's we will go. And it looks like, again, another disappointing weekend for the German. He's just not getting any luck whatsoever in GP2, and he'll hope to bounce back in this 3-week break. Sorry about that, RE Central decided to have a little bit of a meltdown there, as it just said no signal initially there. I do apologise that for RE Central. But now through the final corner then goes Mick Schumacher as he heads down the pit straight, and he starts his next lap as Ghiotto now onto the Grand Prix section himself, as he will now approach the Melbourne hairpin. As meantime now Rosenqvist now right onto the back of Norris. Norris went very defensive into that chicane there, and rightfully so. Norris keeping hold of the place for the moment as they go through into the chicane. And well, that's that really. As Rosenqvist now then will he try and get the move done into the Melbourne hairpin, going into the second to last corner, and he doesn't look like he's close enough to make a pass there again. So no use there. Here is Luca going down the pit straight, and Ghiotto now then starting his next lap, which is lap number 18 of the race. So lap 18 now, Luca Ghiotto is on of 23. So 6 laps remaining for the young Italian. And apologies for the little drop of frames there. that tad bit there as we were looking at the battle between Norris and Rosenqvist. Out of the old hairpin now, then we go up towards McLean's now then, and through the left and then through the right hander we will go, and now coming up towards Coppice corner we will go, and Ghiotto now then just going through the double right hander on the track as he continues to lead the way out in front, and continues to pull away from Joel Eriksson. Again, as mentioned, Sirotkin just pretty much hasn't got the pace to match him at the moment, and as a result, it doesn't look like Irmar's going to get the 1-2. As Mick Schumacher sets another fastest lap of 1:19.577, and now in towards the Melbourne hairpin we will go, as again Rosenqvist not close enough to make a pass on Lando Norris there as they go through the chicane, and again it just looks like he's now dropped some time again to Lando, and looks like Lando's doing a good job fending him off in this race, it must be said, as Ghiotto now sets the fastest lap of the race of 1:19.477, so he takes that fastest lap off Mick Schumacher as he looks to try and add to his 6 points at the moment. Going through the craners now then we will go, and Ghiotto currently leading the way as he looks to get the team's first victory of the season. And Ghiotto doing a good job out in front at the moment. Sorry for the drop of frames as now we go through McLean's. And so now Ghiotto with 5 laps remaining. I think we're now on that lap 19 of 23 now. Then we're on. And we've just passed the half past 2 mark now then. So we are now just under half an hour away from the European Grand Prix at Donington. As Ghiotto now then approaches the chicane. This race should be finished before, I would think, before 22, so hopefully that is the case. If it says lap 19 yet, we have 5 laps remaining. Just have to double check there. As now through towards the Melbourne hairpin he will go, and yeah, Norris is now, just to confirm, has now started to pull away from Felix Rosenqvist, and looks like he's gonna get a hold of grip onto that what's the position, 4th place, and well, that's that for him really. Here is Joel Eriksson in the Lopez Racing development car as he comes out of the final corner, heading down the pit straight now down on the track, and he will now head down towards turn 1, and through turn 1 we go, heading out of the first corner before going up towards the craners. And so now around the corner we will go, and now through the left-hander before going up towards the old hairpin, and now up towards the McLean's we will go. So we have 4 laps now remaining in this race for race leader Luca Ghiotto, going up through McLean's now then before going around the right-hander. Eriksson now then up through the double right-hander on the track. And now out of the corner now then we will go, heading down the back straight we go towards the chicane, as here is Luca Ghiotto, the current race leader now then, as he heads up towards the Melbourne hairpin now then for the 20th time today. And you can tell he's pretty much keeping things calm. He's not pushing too hard at the moment. He's got a very decent gap between himself and Joel Eriksson as he comes out of the final corner and onto the pit straight to start lap 21 of 23 here at Donington. And Ghiotto has driven a fine race as he goes up towards turn 1 on the track, and you can definitely tell how much of a gap he's got. There wasn't even anybody in the background of him as he went in towards turn 1. It shows how dominant Ghiotto has been since he took the lead back off Eriksson early on in the race, and looking good to get victory at the moment, to become the 5th different winner this season out of 6. The only man to get 2 victories this season, of course, is championship leader George Russell, but it looks like both Norris and Rosenqvist would be taking a tiny chunk out of his championship lead by the end of this race, as they're both in 4th and 5th in front of Russell, who's currently occupying 6th place, the final points place at the moment in this race. And well, it looks like 6th place is going to be his as they come up towards the chicane now then. And Ghiotto now then just using the curbs as much as possible, coming out of the right-hander before approaching the Melbourne hairpin. And now through the second to last corner we will go then, before going up towards the final corner. And Luca Ghiotto will start his penultimate lap as soon as he comes out of the final corner. And just to double check, yep, it will be his penultimate lap when he crosses the line. He starts lap 22 of 23, and to add a little bit of bonus to that, he now sets another fastest lap of 1 minute 19.448, I just think it said there. So Ghiotto continuing to ensure he'll get that bonus point along with the 6 points he'll get for victory if he's able to keep this up and stay out of trouble in these 1 3/4 laps around here at Donington Park as he goes up the hill up towards McLean's. And here is Joel Eriksson, currently in second place, and looking good to get the team and himself his first podium in GP2. So all things going well for him as he goes up through McLean's. And so through towards the right-hander we will go, as he uses quite a bit of curb on the outside before approaching the double right-hander at Coppice. And you just saw in the background a little bit there was Sergey Sirotkin. He's looking good to grab the final podium, considering that Norris, Rosenqvist and Russell behind are just nowhere near to attack him at this stage. He's coming around the second to last corner. Then a bit of a lock-up there from Luca Ghiotto, and showing he's pushing hard. It's a good job he was able to correct that, because if that beached into the gravel, well, that would have not been good for the young Italian. As he goes out of the final corner now then and onto the pit straight, and Luca Ghiotto is about to start his final lap here at Donington. It has been just a brilliant race for the Italian. He started on pole position. He initially lost the lead to Joel Eriksson around the outside of the Craners, but was able to keep up with him the beginning few laps, and was able to eventually get him with a beautiful pass at the Fogarty S's. And just at that point, he's just been able to pull away from a huge amount, and as a result, Luca Ghiotto is looking good to take his first victory of Season 4, his first since Season 2, and on top of that as well, get East Midlands Racing's first victory of the season. I think it will be the Italian's third career victory in GP2, so his other 2 victories coming in Season 2 when he was part of the now, well, they're in IndyCar now, but in terms of GP2 terms, the now defunct GP2 team Vantari Racing. And but he pretty much took a season out in Season 3. Only had the one-off drive at Ecademy in France, but now languished a full-time drive at EMR, and now it's all come good. It's taken him a while, but East Midlands Racing are finally going to get the victory this season. Round the final corner then comes Luca Ghiotto, and down the pit straight he goes, and it is going to be Luca Ghiotto who wins the sprint race here at Donington. Congratulations to him and the East Midlands Racing team. He even sets the fastest lap as well with a 1 minute 19.275, a fully deserved victory for the Italian. East Midlands Racing pick up their first victory of the season, and it has been a long time to get that. Joel Eriksson crosses the line in second. Sergey Sirotkin finishes in third. It's going to be Felix Rosenqvist who crosses the line fourth. Lando Norris fifth. George Russell finishes in sixth. Alex Lynn crosses the line in seventh. Norman Nato eighth in the end. Mitch Evans crosses the line in ninth. Santiago Urishi 10th. Lucas Jura will cross the line in 11th in the VorteX racing car in the end there then. And I think somebody actually snatched the fastest lap away from Ghiotto at the end there, because somebody else's name got mentioned. Mashita 12th, Galio 13th, Fanastras 14th, Stroll in 15th, with Razia in 16th, Tictum cross the line 17th, Palmer will cross the line in 18th in the Willows Grand Prix car. Just to round off a disappointing weekend for Willows Grand Prix here at Donington. They'll be having the 3-week break. They can bounce back with a 2-week break. Vips 19th, De Vries 20th, Schumacher under investigation in 21st. And there you have it then, guys. In the end, Luca Ghiotto is the winner here at the sprint race at Donington, and a fully deserved victory for the Italian. So there you have it then, guys. After all of that, here is the results of the sprint race here at Donington. Luca Ghiotto won the race in front of East Midlands Racing's home Grand Prix, with Joel Eriksson in second. Sergey Sirotkin finished in third, with Felix Rosenqvist fourth. Lando Norris was fifth, with George Russell rounding out the points in sixth. Then it was Alex Lynn in seventh, Norman Nato in eighth, Mitch Evans ninth, Santiago Urishi in 10th, with Lucas Jura 11th. Nobuharu Mashishita was 12th, with Sean Galal 13th and Sasha Fenestras 14th. And if we scroll down the rest of the field, it's Lance Stroll in 15th, with Louis Razia in 16th. Dan Tictum was 17th, with Jolyon Palmer 18th, Yuri Vips 19th, Nick De Vries in 20th, Mick Schumacher 21st, and the man to only retire from this race was Pierre Gasly with an oil leak. So let's see who set the fastest lap of the race, who's going away with the bonus point, and it was Felix Rosenqvist in the end with a 1 minute 19.244. So Rosenqvist, he managed to snatch it on the last lap from Ghiotto there then. Gets the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. He was 300 quicker than Luca Ghiotto in the end. That's whose name I saw pop up during the final lap there that snatched it from Ghiotto. It was Felix Rosenqvist. So he gets the bonus point along with the 3 points, I think. No, 2 points he gets for 5th place. But there you have it then, guys. That has been it from the sprint race here for GP2. GP2 will be back in 3 weeks' time in Belgium, along with GP3, because they're also not going to America for the next 2 weeks, the continent of America. But stick around now, guys, because coming up next is the 76 lap European Grand Prix, which sees Lewis Hamilton on pole position at a Fernando Alonso and Nico Hulkenberg. So if you want to go and grab a quick drink, then you can. The podium for GP2 is coming your way just after this. But until then, I've been JWF1. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in just under 20 minutes time. Enjoy the GP2 podium.